Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Myanmar Podcast Corner. I'm your host, July.
And I'm Mo. Thanks for joining us. You know, July, in our last episode, we talked a lot about the general climate of fear and uncertainty surrounding the junta's upcoming election, especially in places like Sagaing.
Right, the coercion, the secrecy, the threats from all sides. It was a really grim picture of how impossible a free and fair election is. But today we have a story that's, well, it's a lot more direct, a lot more kinetic.
That's a good way to put it. We're talking about a recent and pretty audacious attack by resistance forces that happened just a few days ago on December 23rd. And the location is what really makes this story stand out.
Exactly. This wasn't in a remote conflict zone. This was right on the doorstep of the capital. So, Mo, why don't you lay out the basic facts for us? What exactly happened?
All right, so according to the reports we're seeing, Myanmar resistance forces carried out a series of coordinated attacks. This happened in a village called Swamaji, which is located just south of Naypyitaw.
South of Naypyitaw. Wow, okay, and what were they targeting?
Well, this is where it gets really specific and strategic. They targeted multiple junta positions, specifically 2 military bases and an administrative office.
An administrative office.
Right, but it wasn't just any office. It was an office that was being set up and used as a polling station for the upcoming election.
Okay, so there it is. They weren't just hitting military targets. They were hitting election infrastructure directly.
Exactly. It's a very clear message. And the group that took responsibility, the Naypyitaw People's Defense Force, or PDF, they were very open about their motives.
They didn't leave any room for interpretation, did they?
Not at all. The Naypyitaw PDF stated very explicitly that the goal of these operations was to undermine and disrupt the junta's election preparations. They even released a photo of the damaged administrative office afterward.
So this isn't just speculation. This is the stated goal of the group that carried it out. And it's part of this broader pattern we're seeing, isn't it? Resistance groups all across the country have vowed to block or disrupt this vote, which they see as a total sham.
It is, but I think we need to spend a bit more time on the significance of where this happened. Because like you said, this wasn't Sagaing or Kaya State. This was near Naypyitaw.
Right. I mean, Naypyitaw is the junta's fortress. It's their purpose-built capital, heavily fortified. They consider it their most secure zone in the entire country. For an attack like this to happen so close, it's a huge statement.
It's a massive psychological blow. It directly challenges the junta's whole narrative of control. They project this image of strength, of having an iron grip on the heart of the country. And an attack like this just pokes a very big hole in that narrative.
Yeah, it shows the expanding reach of the resistance forces and also their confidence to plan and execute a coordinated attack involving multiple PDF units right under the junta's nose. That takes a lot of confidence.
Totally. And the timing is just as significant as the location. This wasn't a random date on the calendar.
Let's talk about that. December 23rd. The first phase of the election is scheduled to begin, within days of that?
Exactly. The timing was deliberately chosen to interfere with the final preparations for the vote. It's strategic. You hit them when they're trying to get all their ducks in a row. You create chaos and fear right at the critical moment.
It sends a message not just to the junta, but to any civil servants, any election workers, and any potential voters. The message is, this is not safe. Participating in this process is dangerous.
Which brings us to the broader implications of all this. The analysis we've seen really breaks it down into 3 key points. First, it shows that resistance forces are escalating their operations and tying them directly to the election timeline.
So these aren't just general attacks against the military anymore. They're becoming much more political, much more targeted towards specific events.
Precisely. The second point, which we've touched on, is that the junta's ability to secure its own election infrastructure is clearly weakening.
Right. I mean, if you can't protect a polling station just south of your capital city, how can you possibly guarantee security for a nationwide vote? It just seems impossible.
It really does. And that leads to the third and maybe most important implication. The election is now actively, physically contested, not just in the well-known conflict zones, but right near the political center of the regime itself.
The battlefield for this election is expanding. The resistance is making it clear that nowhere is off limits. They are bringing the fight to the junta's home turf.
You know, it's a very dynamic and frankly a very dangerous situation. This attack is a clear signal that the opposition to this election is organized, it's capable, and it's willing to take significant risks to disrupt it.
It completely shatters any illusion the junta might be trying to sell to the world that they have things under control and are proceeding with a legitimate democratic process. This action screams that the process is being held under duress and is being actively fought over.
Absolutely. The conflict over this election is not just political rhetoric. It's being waged with real-world attacks, even in areas previously thought to be secure. It's a critical development and one we will definitely be keeping a close eye on as the election days proceed.
It certainly is. Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode. It's a fast-moving story, and we appreciate you joining us to make sense of it.
From both of us here at Myanmar Podcast Corner, thank you for listening. Stay informed and stay safe.